There's something sitting in your kitchen right now that could be quietly damaging your liver, and chances are you think it's healthy. I'm not talking about alcohol. I'm not talking about fast food. I'm talking about something millions of Americans drink every single morning while thinking, hey, I'm making a good choice. We'll get to that in a minute. But first, let's talk about fatty liver disease, because the numbers are honestly shocking. Right now, about 1 out of every 4 Americans has fatty liver disease. Not heavy drinkers, not people who look obviously unhealthy. Regular people, people who walk every day, people trying to eat better, people who think they're doing everything right. And if you have type 2 diabetes, the odds go even higher. Research shows up to 70% of people with diabetes also have fatty liver disease, and most don't even know it. Now, if you're over 60, this matters even more. Because as we get older, our metabolism slows down, insulin resistance becomes more common, and the liver becomes a lot more sensitive to damage. But here's the encouraging part, and I really want you to hear this. Your liver is incredibly resilient. In fact, studies show that with the right changes, many people start seeing measurable improvement in liver health in as little as 4 to 8 weeks. So this isn't one of those fear-based videos trying to scare you. This is about understanding what's happening inside your body and realizing there's still a lot you can do about it.
What is fatty liver disease? And how would you even know? Here's the tricky thing about fatty liver. Most people have no clue they have it. It usually doesn't hurt. There's no flashing warning light, no sharp pain telling you something's wrong. And honestly, a lot of routine blood tests miss it completely. That's why so many folks only find out by accident. Maybe they go in for an ultrasound for something unrelated, and suddenly the doctor says, "Oh, looks like you've got some fat buildup in the liver." Now, the medical name doctors use today is MASLD. Real catchy, right? Most people, including most doctors, still just call it fatty liver. All it really means is this: fat has started building up inside your liver cells. And once enough fat piles up, more than about 5% of the liver's weight, doctors officially call it fatty liver disease. Now here's where it gets sneaky. The symptoms are usually vague enough that people blame them on age, stress, or just being busy. Things like feeling wiped out all the time, even after sleeping all night. Waking up feeling foggy or slow mentally. A weird fullness or pressure on the right side after meals. Constant cravings for sweets or carbs. Bloating, gas, or digestion that just feels off.
Sound familiar? A lot of people in their 60s just shrug and say, well, I'm getting older. And sure, sometimes aging is part of it. But sometimes your liver is waving a little white flag, trying to get your attention. And here's why this matters. If fatty liver keeps going unchecked for years, the liver tissue can start getting stiff and scarred. That stage is called fibrosis. Keep pushing past that, and eventually it can turn into cirrhosis, where the liver becomes so damaged it can't do its job properly anymore. But here's the part that shocks most people. Most people with fatty liver don't end up dying from liver failure. They die from heart disease. Because when the liver struggles, it starts throwing off the whole system. It pumps out more bad cholesterol, more triglycerides, more inflammation. And those inflammatory signals damage blood vessels throughout the body. So this isn't just a liver issue anymore. It becomes a whole body problem.
The real culprit? And it's probably sitting in your fridge. All right, now we're getting to the part that surprises a lot of people. The biggest thing driving fatty liver today? It's usually not alcohol. It's fructose, the kind of sugar packed into sweet drinks, juices, smoothies, and processed foods. And here's what makes fructose different. Regular sugar, glucose, can be used by muscles, your brain, and other tissues all over the body for energy. But fructose doesn't work that way. Most of it goes straight to the liver. And when your liver keeps getting hit with more fructose than it can handle,
it starts turning that extra sugar into fat. That fat gets stored right inside the liver itself. That's how fatty liver starts.
So where's all this fructose coming from? Fruit juice, orange juice, apple juice, bottled smoothies, sweetened healthy drinks. A big glass of orange juice can easily have around 14 grams of fructose, and research suggests once you get above roughly 40 grams a day, liver damage can start speeding up. Think about that for a second. A couple glasses of juice, maybe a smoothie from the grocery store, a few snacks during the day, and you can hit that number before lunch without even realizing it. And this is what catches so many health-conscious people completely off guard. A lot of those green smoothies at the store, they sound healthy, they look healthy, but many of them are mostly apple juice or orange juice underneath all that spinach and kale. Your taste buds think health drink. Your liver thinks sugar overload. And after 60, your liver simply doesn't process that flood of sugar the way it did decades ago. That's why whole fruit is very different from juice. When you eat an actual orange, you get fiber, you chew slower, you fill up faster. The sugar hits your body gradually. Juice removes all the brakes, and your liver pays the price.
Now, whole fruit? That's a completely different story, and this part really matters. Eating an actual apple is not the same thing as drinking apple juice. When you eat whole fruit, all that natural fiber slows the sugar down. The fructose enters your bloodstream gradually instead of hitting your liver all at once. Think of it like this. Your liver can handle a slow drip. What it struggles with is a tidal wave. That's why normal portions of whole fruit are generally perfectly fine, especially berries. Blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, these are some of the best choices you can make. They're naturally lower in sugar and loaded with antioxidants that actually help protect the liver from damage and inflammation. Now, let's talk about the other big problem nobody wants to hear about.
Ultra-processed foods, fast food, packaged snacks, frozen junk, margarine, cheap vegetable oils, foods with ingredient lists that read like a chemistry experiment. These foods are packed with hidden sugars, industrial fats, and inflammatory chemicals your body was never designed to deal with every single day. And over time, that constant inflammation acts like a slow burn inside the body. It irritates the liver. It damages blood vessels. It stresses the heart. And it keeps your metabolism stuck in a cycle your body has a harder and harder time recovering from as you get older. The scary part is that a lot of this damage happens quietly. You don't necessarily feel it right away. That's why so many people are shocked when they finally get an ultrasound or blood work and discover their liver has been struggling for years. What actually helps? And the research is pretty clear. All right, now for the part people actually want to know. What really helps fix fatty liver? Because this is where the news gets encouraging. First, if you need to lose some weight, you do not have to lose a massive amount. Research shows that dropping just 7 to 10% of your body weight can make a huge difference for the liver. So if someone weighs 200 pounds, we're talking about roughly 15 to 20 pounds, not 80. That level of weight loss has been shown to reduce liver fat, lower inflammation, and even start reversing some early scarring in the liver. And here's the important part. You do not need brutal workouts. You do not need starvation diets. You do not need some crazy internet cleanse. Slow and steady works best, especially after 60. Now, number 2, the Mediterranean style diet. Honestly, this eating style keeps winning in study after study for liver health, heart health, blood sugar, inflammation, pretty much across the board. And it's not complicated. More vegetables, especially leafy greens, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, more beans and lentils, more fish, more olive oil, less processed junk, less added sugar, less red meat. That's really the foundation. And the nice thing is, people actually enjoy eating this way. It doesn't feel like punishment. Now, let's talk protein, because this matters more as we get older.
Your liver needs enough protein to help burn fat instead of storing it. Research suggests aiming for around 1 gram of protein per kilogram of body weight each day is a solid target for many adults. And interestingly, plant proteins seem to help the liver especially well. Things like lentils, peas, beans, chickpeas, edamame, these consistently perform really well in liver studies. Now, that doesn't mean you have to give up eggs or fish. In fact, eggs contain something called choline, which the liver actually needs to process fat properly. The goal isn't perfection. It's just shifting more of your meals toward whole, nutrient-dense foods that help the liver recover instead of overwhelming it.
Number 4, move your body. Your liver loves movement. This one doesn't require a gym membership or some fancy workout plan. Your liver responds incredibly well to regular movement. Walking, swimming, light weights, even just staying more active throughout the day. All of it helps. And here's what's important. Exercise improves liver health even if the scale barely moves. Why? Because movement helps your body become more sensitive to insulin. That means less sugar floating around in the bloodstream and less fat getting dumped into the liver. There was a long-term study on older men with fatty liver that found something really encouraging. The people who stayed consistent with exercise and basic healthy eating saw real improvements in liver health that lasted for years. Not weeks, years. And we're not talking about marathon training here. Even a brisk 30-minute walk 5 days a week can make a noticeable difference, especially after meals. A simple walk after dinner is one of the easiest things you can do to help your blood sugar and take pressure off your liver.
Number 5. Coffee. Yes, really. Now here's the one that shocks a lot of people. Plain black coffee is actually one of the most well-supported drinks for liver health in medical research. Multiple large studies, including liver disease guidelines in the US, have found that regular coffee drinkers tend to have lower liver enzyme levels, less liver scarring, and a much lower risk of cirrhosis over time. In fact, drinking around 2 to 3 cups of black coffee a day has been linked to a dramatically lower risk of dying from liver cirrhosis. Pretty amazing for something sitting in millions of kitchens every morning. But, and this matters, we're talking about real coffee, not the giant coffee shop dessert disguised as coffee. Once you dump in syrups, sugar, whipped cream, and flavored creamers, you start undoing the benefits pretty quickly. Black coffee. Simple. And there are a few other foods researchers consistently associate with better liver health too. Green tea, turmeric, ginger, walnuts, flaxseed, oats. These foods help calm inflammation inside the body, which gives the liver a much better environment to repair itself.
Your simple starting point. All right, so if you take just a few things away from this video, let it be this. Cut back on the fruit juice. Swap it out for water, black coffee, or green tea instead. And if you want fruit, eat the actual fruit, especially berries. Your liver handles whole fruit a whole lot better than liquid sugar. Try cooking at home a little more often when you can. Nothing fancy. Olive oil, vegetables, fish, beans, simple food your body recognizes. And move every single day. It doesn't have to be a gym workout. A walk around the block absolutely counts. The goal is just to get your muscles working and your blood sugar moving in the right direction. And one more important thing. If you haven't had your liver checked in a while, talk to your doctor about getting an abdominal ultrasound. Because early fatty liver disease often won't show up on routine blood tests. A lot of people assume their liver is fine because their labs are mostly normal. Meanwhile, fat has already been building quietly for years. Your liver hasn't given up on you. Don't give up on it either. And if this video helped you, hit the like button and leave a comment below. I always like hearing what surprised people most, and your questions help shape future videos too. I'll see you in the next one.